Oh, you know something's going on today, don't you? You know something's up. Our little home's going in for a repair, and I gotta admit, I'm pretty nervous about it. I heard a noise coming from the front driver's side wheel. So, since this is what little Jackson and I are going through right now, I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk to all of you about how to choose a mechanic, where you should take your rig, and how to reduce some of the costs associated with repairing your rig. So let's talk about all that today because, well, quite frankly, when your rig has a problem, it is extremely stressful, and I'm currently feeling that right now. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to share it all with you. So let's talk. Oh, it's so beautiful out here. If it wasn't for the stress I'm about to endure, I think most of the stress is all pre what you're about to get done. It's everything that you have to do before actually getting your rig to a place to get repaired. In my opinion, the moment you hear something or you feel something not right with your rig, you need to get it in and you need to get your rig inspected immediately to find out what's going on. The results of not doing that could be catastrophic. And if you think it's going to cost you a lot of money right now, just go ahead and keep putting that repair off and see just exactly how much money it's going to be. So my opinion is get your rig checked out if you notice something different. All right. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the things that I feel that could help you get yourself through this very vulnerable moment in life. And believe me, when something like this happens, you do feel vulnerable. You have no idea what somebody's going to do to your rig, and you have no idea what it's going to cost. So let's talk about some of the things that you can do to help eliminate some of the stress, help you save a little bit of money, and hopefully get you back on the road without a whole lot of problems. So the first thing, when you think that your rig might have a problem, get it in and have it looked at. Now, unless you're mechanically inclined, and if so, go ahead and repair it yourself. But here's my recommendations, even if you are mechanically inclined. If you're close to a city or you're close to a bigger town, pick up the phone and call one of those big box stores like Big O Tires or Les Schwab's. These types of stores will do a free inspection for you and let you know what kind of problems you might be experiencing. Whereas, let's say for example, you were to take it to a smaller mechanic, these small shops, they want to charge you an hourly shop rate while they're going through your rig to find out what's wrong with it. So you already have a bill before they even fixed it. So my suggestion is, unless you know a good small shop that won't do that, pick up the phone and get a hold of one of the big box stores. And like I said, a lot of the big box stores, they'll do an overall inspection of your rig, which can help you catch a problem before it becomes a problem. So to have all that done with no cost to you whatsoever, that's a good way to save money. And also, for just the peace of mind, when you take it to some of these big box stores, if you ever have an issue with that part or the labor that they perform, if something goes wrong with that part anywhere in the country, there's usually going to be one of those big box stores anywhere you go. So you'll be able to take it in for warranty repair like that. Make no mistake about it, this is stressful without a doubt. You know, this is something that no one wants to have to deal with. And it is definitely, I don't know, makes life a little uncomfortable until you get it all handled. So let's assume that you picked up the phone, you called one of these big box stores, and they said, sure, bring it on in. All right, there's your first step down. Now your rig is going to go get looked at. Here's the deal. If you're mechanically inclined and you did not know for sure exactly what was wrong, after you have them look at your vehicle, well, you can leave there. It didn't cost you anything. And now you can go to a parts store and pick up the part and fix it yourself. Now, when we're talking about small mechanic shops, all right, I'm not going to get into this too detailed, but just be warned that as many good mechanics that you might find out there, there's also a plethora of bad mechanics sprinkled in. Okay, so you might be asking yourself, I have no other choice. I have to take it to a small town mechanic. What can I look for to know that I can entrust my rig with that mechanic? If you are unsure about the mechanic that you're going to take your rig to, here's my suggestion. Talk to some of the local people. They will be happy to tell you their opinion of that mechanic. Talk to some of the local people, talk to some of the businesses. You know, it doesn't hurt to ask people what they think about that mechanic. It could save you an awful lot of money and an awful lot of trouble in the long run. So that's a good tip. Talk to the locals. They'll tell you everything that you need to know. hopefully. Now, you might be saying to yourself, what happens if I'm in a small town and I cannot find a good mechanic? And that's a really good point. Here's my suggestion. I would hope that if you're out here traveling, you have roadside assistance. If you don't have roadside assistance, you need to get yourself some. I'll be honest with you, for the cost of a full year of roadside assistance costs less than one tow. And that takes care of everything. I mean, if I run out of fuel, if I break down, if I need a tow, if I break down, and I need to have my rig put into a mechanic shop to get fixed, they also have a feature in there where they'll pay for X amount of days for staying in a hotel, and they'll also pay for a rental car. So that helps out a lot with the stress. So if you do have a major breakdown, that'll give you some time to breathe to figure out what you're gonna do. Okay, we were talking about roadside assistance. If you cannot find a good mechanic in the area that you're at, here's the nice part about having roadside assistance. You can have your rig towed off to wherever you want to get it repaired. Now tell me, if that's not peace of mind, I don't know what is. So you're never really stuck as long as you have roadside assistance. So I highly recommend getting some. So now I just want to share with you some of the ways that you might be able to ease the pain of that big mechanical repair bill that you may be facing. Because, well, that kind of puts a crimp into everything when you have to fork out that kind of money to get a repair. And it doesn't seem like any repair that you have done anymore is cheap. They're all expensive. Like down here in Arizona, I think shop hourly rate is 120 bucks an hour. That's a lot of money on top of the part that you need to purchase. One really good way to save money if you're mechanically inclined is after you have your rig inspected and you know what's wrong with it, it didn't cost you any money at all, you can get in your rig, drive away, go to a parts store, and pick up the part and repair it yourself, if that's possible. So if you're mechanically inclined, that's a great way to save money and not have to pay the shop hourly rate. A second way to save money is that after they've inspected your rig and they tell you what's wrong, you can, in most of the places, you can go to the parts store, purchase the part, bring it back, and have them installed it. See, what happens is that when you take it to a mechanic, they usually have a price markup on the parts that they sell you. So to save some money, after you know what's wrong with it, go pick the part up, bring it back to the mechanic, and have them install it. Then you're only paying for the shop hourly rate. But here's the kicker, when you do that, probably not going to warranty the part. They'll warranty the labor, but they're not going to warranty the part. So you kind of take a little bit of risk there. You could pay a little extra money for the part, buying it through them, and get the warranty, or you can save some money by going and get the part, bringing it back, and having them put it on, and hope for the best. Now here's a really good idea. I don't know if it'll work for you, but it always seems to have worked for me. So when you go into a mechanic shop to get your rig worked on, here's what I recommend. That person standing behind the counter, get to know that person, find out that person's name, build up a rapport with that person. Even a small rapport can go a long ways. And if you get to know the mechanic by his first name, even better yet. See, when you walk into a mechanic shop, you're nothing more than a work order. You're a problem that needs to be fixed. They pull down a book, look in their book, and see just exactly how much time it's going to take to repair your problem. So if you get to know these people by their first name and you build up even a small rapport with them, they can start seeing you as a person, as a human being, rather than a work order that they're going by the book and charging you X amount for X amount of work. Usually it doesn't take them as long as what the book says. Okay, that's just what they go by. So I have found that if you get to know the person behind the counter, you shoot the crap with them for a little bit, you talk to them, you be nice to them, you get to know the mechanic possibly if you can. Usually what they'll end up doing by the time everything's all said and done, so if the book said it took an hour to do this job, maybe they'll only charge you a half-hour shop labor because they got to know you and they can see you as a person rather than just a work order. And I think that's really important. I mean, it doesn't hurt to get to know the people. Who knows, you may need them again. Getting on a good rapport with them might help you in the future. So I highly recommend that. You know, you don't have to if you don't want to, but if you want to look at saving some money, it's a really good tip. I highly suggest you give it a try. And if you do, come back and let me know down in the comments section how it worked out for you. Okay, that's about all the tips that I really have for you on how to reduce some of the stress and some of the costs associated with getting your vehicle repaired. Okay, phew. If you found any of this helpful, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. And if you have any tips or tricks that you would like to tell me about, do me a favor, leave it down in the comment section down below. I would love to hear them. Not only that, but for other people that pass through this way that are finding themselves in this particular moment, maybe your tip or trick could be extremely helpful for them. All right, I think it's probably time that we get packed up and we get this thing into its appointment. and find out just exactly how bad this is gonna be. Oh, I'm not looking forward to that. Yeah, I think it's time to take this little girl. You know what? I think it's probably time we name this van. I don't know, what do you think? If you have a suggestion, leave it down in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you think we should name this van. I was kind of thinking maybe the Reaper. Not that Reaper. The Reaper like the hot pepper. Wouldn't that kind of look cool with the hot pepper logo on the side of the van? I don't know, just an idea I have. Thought I would cast it out there, find out what you all thought. But if you have a better idea what I can name my van, leave that down below in the comment section. And maybe what we'll do is I'll compile all the names and we'll do a poll in the community section and put it to a vote so we can finally give this home a name. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be a lot better than calling it whatever. I don't know. Leave me a comment down below what you think we should name the van. All right, so let's get this thing packed up. We'll get it into town. We got an appointment in about 2.5 hours. They're gonna take a look at it at Big Old Tires. And because this talking head video went on a little bit too long, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna make it part 2. So I will be releasing a video in the next day or 2, and that's where both you and I will get to find out exactly what's wrong with the van. So, that being said, I hope that you're all having a truly amazing day, and until little Jackson, I see you again. Later.